What did it say?
I told you have a man, Mom. Put your answer here. You can erase it or put it down here.
Why are you asking me that?
Okay, answer the question.
Why are you asking me that? Answer my question. No, move. Don't get on me. Why are you asking me that?
Because I want to know why I don't got a daddy. Everybody else got one.
You ain't got a daddy because your daddy don't want to be a daddy.
Find one. Jesus.
Find you one.
Yeah, that's what you said. Please, I need a daddy. I need a dada. For Christmas, that's what I want, a dada. I want the daddy to show up at my house.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, call HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. And real quick, man, I want to, show this video that you just seen. It's very sad, actually, man. As I'm watching it, the more I watch it, the sadder it get. Okay, you see how she just tried to come and be up under her mother and comfort her, and she's pushing her away. You see how sad she's getting. But basically, she said how for Christmas she want her daddy. She asked her mom, "Why don't you have a man?" All right, and she said your daddy don't want to be a daddy, which, that could be true, but most times it's because the man don't want to deal with the woman. Okay, and in this case, I believe it's because he don't want to deal with her. All right, these women, they'll run the man away. Just like how she was pushing her own daughter away on camera as she was explaining how we need a daddy. We need a dada. Okay? And without a father in the house is out of order. The house is out of structure, and the house has no protection. Okay? There is no hedge. All right? So as you've seen this little girl, she had a convenient way of asking her mother, why don't we have, or where's my dad? Everybody else got a dad. And really it's the mother's fault. Okay? Whether it's you ran the man away or the man don't want to be there. Either way, you opened your legs to this man and brought forth a life. Okay, and this is why you have to, though it's hard, you have to coexist in some way, form, or fashion with, the mother of your children, so that, your child can be raised properly and they have a father. All right, now let me show you this right here. I'm gonna grab that too. Let me see, so I don't lose it. Let's go right here. It says Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 9. For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. So when there's a father in the house is blessed. And you hear all this thing about a woman saying she don't need a man, She's trying to raise these kids by herself, and you can't. You were not created to raise children by yourself. You were created to raise children under the leadership and the guidance of a man. Okay. And another thing too, you women out here that's dealing with these men and opening your legs to these men that's not, real men, or have the integrity to take care of a child, especially their own seed, is, that's your own fault, man. Okay. Now it's the man's fault too, but it falls back on you because you gotta, you're gonna be stuck with those children. And I'll say this too. In this situation, go back and make things right with the father of your children. Don't just go and try to find her a stepdad, okay? Which they say that a woman's first love, a girl's first love, is her father. So don't go find her some random guy at the club, that, and she gonna be try to find her a stepdad. No, find her go patch things up with her father. All right. It says, for the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. And what happens is you have a bunch of single parent households where the mother, who ran the father away, some way, form, or fashion, is raising up these children, and they're becoming complete monsters. The daughters are becoming whores and rebellious, okay, with daddy issues. The sons are becoming homosexuals, okay, deviants, all right, criminals locked up in the prison system. Okay, But then when you look at the statistics, fathers raise a single father can raise both the boys and the girls properly. You know, there's better functioning children coming from a single parent household that is a father than a single parent household as a mother. But either way, it's better to have both parents. It says, verse 10, glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee, right? Because people, they'll make fun of their father. In this word, talking about dad jokes, Well, guess what? That's nothing to glory in, man. Okay? Making fun of your father, or, these women, especially the so-called black women, they'll make you, turn against your own father. All right? Which the importance of the father is you are who your father is. Let's go right here. Okay? You are who your father is. And I'm going to further prove that. This is Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house, which means race, of their father. So you are who your father is. There's no such thing as mix. You're not half this and half that. You are who your father is. Okay? If you plant a orange tree in soil, it doesn't become a orange soil tree. It becomes an orange tree. Okay? The woman is just, the soil nourishes the seed. Okay? And it's basically an incubator for the seed to grow. And that's what you women are. An incubator for the child to grow in your belly and become, a full-born, child, right? By the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their poles. So let's go into this word for pedigrees. I don't think it's saying much here, but that, pretty much going into your lineage. All right. Let me see. They declare their pedigrees. It says, okay, here we go. Yep. This is the word for it.
Strong's H3205. Yalad. Yalad.
And when you go down here, it says, in the Strong's definition, it goes into specifically to show lineage. Okay. Your lineage comes from your father, who you are. Okay. You carry on your father's, DNA, spirit. You are who your father is. Okay. So I want to play this video right here real quick, and I might put this up as a short as well. It says the placenta actually belongs to the father, and because we was taught it belongs to the mother, which when a baby is born, the placenta comes out, and the placenta, the placenta holds all the nutrition for the baby, and they tell you to keep the baby attached to the placenta, longer, because they can absorb all that nutrients. Okay, you got some people that even take the placenta after the baby is born, and they capsulize it, and they pretty much eat the capsules from the placenta, and that gives the woman and in turn the baby more nutrition after the baby's born. Okay, but Esau take it and sell it on the black market. It says it's been proven our nationality is of our father's lineage, not our mother's. Let's play this.
Actually belongs to the placenta. Actually belongs to the father. Sounds wild, right?
And quickly, fair use for the music. I'm not making any monetary gain off this. It's just for edificational purposes, because they got the music playing. But let's bring this back.
The placenta actually belongs to the father. Sounds wild, right? But this is one of those science facts that surprises almost everyone. From the moment the egg and sperm meet, all the genetic material that forms the placenta comes from the father's sperm. In other words, the placenta carries dad's DNA signature, not mom's. That's why mom's body sees the placenta as foreign, yet still protects and nourishes it in a very special way, because the placenta acts like a translator between mom and dad through the baby. The placenta controls everything: oxygen, nutrients, filtering toxins, and guarding the baby 24/7. And the coolest part, this entire life support system is activated by the DNA the baby inherits from dad. So yes, a father doesn't just contribute one sperm, he builds the entire nutrition factory for his baby.
which that shows you that the child belongs to the father first and foremost. Okay, because first of all, the seed of that child came out of the father, and then you have the the whole new nutrition. The placenta goes with the baby to nourish the baby inside the mother's womb. Okay, so it's very important, to know and have your father in your life. Okay, when you don't have your father in your life, it causes a lot of problems as the child becomes an adult. Okay, which the brother Ari Akal, he did a video the other day I watched. It was a very heavy video, bro, about a young, he like he about to be a teenage boy, probably going through puberty and shit. And he was throwing rocks at his mother's car. Okay, and she ended up having to put him in the foster care, and he got into foster care, and I guess the kids had beat his ass. Okay. He thought he was, bad, and they ended up beating his ass. And he called his mom crying, basically saying how he was apologizing for all the bad shit that he had done. Okay, because he realized that he realized where he was wrong at. But if he had a father in his life to discipline him, he wouldn't have did all that. I see that in my own son. He'll do certain shit, with my his mom that he wouldn't do around me. The other day he was in the bathroom crying and. Wasn't even crying, wasn't even tears. He was just making noise and rolling all over the floor and stuff because he wanted something. I came and I said, "Hey, what the hell?" And he immediately jumped up and started wiping his face. He had no tears. He just started wiping his face and straightened up real quick. And that's the importance of a father, having your father around. Okay, because what if not? These that's how you get these little monsters out here, man. All right, let me see. Let's go right here. All right, let's do this. It says This is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go." In this case, she. When he is old, he will not depart from it. You see, and she's teaching her daughter at a young age the way that she should not go, telling her that, where there's no father at, your father don't want, she's putting everything on the father, but she's taking no accountability. You could have made things work with that man, but these women, like I did in my last video, they expect you to submit unto them. That's off, bro. And that man to say, hey, and that's how it be, bro. I'm gonna tell you for a fact. That's how it be. The man get to the point where he just say, hey, fuck it all, man, and leave. That's why the father would say back in the day, he'll say, I'm going to the store to get some milk, and he wouldn't come back. That's a joke still to this day people talk about, but that shit was real because of the mother, because of who the mother was. It says, Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, "Direct your children," which really there should be no dissension between the mother and the father if the mother was in order. If the mother knew her role and was playing her role, and she was in order and submitting unto the man, no man will leave a woman who is in subjection, who is submitting, who is in order, who is following his lead. But instead, these women will expect the man to follow their lead, and that's why the man say, "Fuck it, I'm leaving," and we'll go start a whole family somewhere else. In the NLT, it says, "Direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it." Right. So she's training her daughter up to think that she don't need a man, and the daughter, because these kids, they be fresh out of the spirit world, is saying we need a dada. We need a daddy, not just the child, but the mother too. Okay. So it's sad she had to say for Christmas she want, because these parents, especially Jake, they try to get their kids everything they want for Christmas. She said for Christmas I want my daddy. Which is, very sad, man. All right. Very, very sad. Let's go over here. It says, subject, which these women hate this word. We'll show you that they're out of order. Okay. They hate this word. It says, this is 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1. "Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands." They're in subjection to everybody but their husbands. Their friend group, their family, their mother, their boss, everybody but their man. "That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives." Jumping down in 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 5. "For in this same chapter, over and over again is saying this, and after this manner, in the old time, the holy woman also who trusted in the Most High adorn themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands." You're supposed to be in subjection to your man. Okay? Ephesians chapter 5 verse 24. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Hamashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Your father don't want to be a father. No, he didn't want to be with you. Okay, he didn't want to deal with you. And that shit is real, because dealing with these women, bro, they got another level of demons on them. Okay, you don't want to deal with them. Okay, you don't want to deal with these women, bro. Okay, they make it very, very complicated to deal with them. All right, let's go over here. This is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 1. It says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man is going to be your protection from this time we're coming into, man. Okay, if you don't have a man, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, let's grab this too. The hedge. Okay, without a man, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, man. And then that's why Isaiah 4:1, it says these women are going to be seeking to cleave unto a man. Let us be, unto you. I'll probably have to grab it. But it says, verse 2 in NLT, each one will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm, like streams of water in the desert and the shadows of a great rock in a parched land. That's why they tell you when a storm is coming. We see it down here in Florida when the hurricane comes. And what's the first thing you get? That alert. It says, seek shelter. Your man is going to be your shelter in that day. That's going to be your protection. And if you don't have a man, you're going to have no protection. You're going to be left out there. This is why they tell you to go inside in the midst of a hurricane or a storm. Okay, people die when they're not under that hedge or that protection. Okay, when they haven't sought shelter. All right, let's go right here real quick. Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, and not we, because it's going to be multiple. We'll eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. You got a reproach if you don't have a man. If you don't have a man, you have a reproach, man. Okay? And even her daughter, as young as she was able to see that, was able to identify that. We need a daddy. Okay? And that's why I say it too. Don't just go find any man. Go back and get right with a man who seed that belongs to. Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. These women don't know how to be pillars of rest. They don't understand that they are a possession. They think that they possess the man. The world is out of whack and out of order. It says where no hedge is, which means what? No protection. There the possession is spoiled. So if you don't have a man, you're going to be spoiled. You're going to be, which when I'm going to that word spoiled, I'll grab it real quick. Okay. Let me grab it. Buenos dias. Spoiled. I went into this the other day, and when I read, it was troubling. Spoiled. In the end of my line, it says stripped violently of clothes. Okay? So you women are going to be spoiled if you don't have a man in that day for your protection. You're going to be stripped violently of your clothes, ravished, taken advantage of, and then likely ate, deleted and ate. You're going to become a TV dinner, a meal and entertainment. All right. So bringing that back. Salakia for the noise in the background. It says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So men are created, were created well, let me say this. Let's say it like this, because they don't want nobody get it twisted. You women were created for men. Okay, you were created to be with and serve a man, to submit unto a man. Okay, and when a man don't have a woman, what then he got to do all the work that a woman is supposed to do. Okay, so there's a natural order the Lord set up, and what Esau has done is he has destroyed that order. Okay, which is causing confusion. And now you got it where kids are asking their mothers, can I have my dad back? But a lot of these women are very selfish, so it's all about how they feel, and they'll destroy their children and themselves because of their feelings toward the man. These women to tell you you'll never see your kid again. Well, not only is that worse for the man, that's bad for the man, but it's also horrible for your children. If you love your children, you will allow them to be around and see and have a relationship with their father. Shalom, come Allah,